Alright, this is Mike Martin from MMSN. Wanted to make a video for a baseball game here. It's a tabletop game called Rostercard Baseball. You can get it from baseballdicegames.com, and I have found the gentleman who did the game has put out a Excel helper on this, so I thought I would do this and then maybe record a game later, but I wanted to explain some of the features of this beforehand. And this is here's how you play. You have two 10-sided dies and one 6-side, and each at bat you roll. You get the two 10-sided dice to make a 0 to 99. So from 0 to 59 are the batter's cards. And as you can see here, you have, like for Yan Gomes, his position is here. And if you roll anywhere from 1 to 8, it is an extra base hit. So the extra base hit, you roll another die, 2 die, and you go over to this EBH column, and you get the home run number. So with this, just with the home run, if you go down to the pitcher, which this is the same team, but you would go to the other, in this column here, it shows what to adjust for the home run. So if it was Corey Kluber, you'd add 4. So for instance, this would be 52. So if you would go over 52, then it's a double. Some people have triples. Got a few one notch here for like Francisco Lindor. So then if you go past the extra base hits, singles are from 9 to 14. Then from 14 to 7 is a walk. 18 and 19 are hit by pitch. Strikeouts are anywhere from 20 to 40 for Yan Gomes. And then from 41 to 56 are outs. And the good thing about this game, if you get this, I'll show this screen here just to show you. Let's say here, this is the Excel helper where you play the game. If you roll the dice, and if the last number is 3, then it is a ground out to the, except for 8, I'm sorry. The number 8, they're all flyouts to center field on those. But if you would get a 38 is again as a fly out to center. The 8 is what clues it in. 11, that would be a hit. I'm trying to get a good one here. 65, that would be a ground out to third base. On this helper, it'll show it here, but if you play the board game, 5 is the number that you go by to see where the out is on that batter's sheet. So further on in here, after 56, so 57, 58, and 59 are the left-right splits. That would be if Yan Gomes is going against a left-hander, that would be a base hit. If he's going against the same, a right-hander, it would be an out. So over here is sacrifice hits. So if you're going to have him bunt, his rating being a 3, a 0 to 3, you do it twice. 0 to 3 is to see if you get the ball down. If you do that twice, then it's like 2 strikes. If he gets it down on the first one, then the next one is whether he gets the sacrifice. So that's 2 rolls there. Like if you have Urshela as a 5, 0 to 5 gets the bunt down, 6 does not, and then you roll a second time if you get it down, and 0 to 5 is for a successful sacrifice hit. If he gets 6, then the runner that he's trying to sacrifice over would be out. Hit and run, I haven't gotten too much into. That's in the rules if you get the game. I haven't used it much. Stolen bases here. There's a couple different ways you can play stolen bases. This second column is the percentage that they were safe. So if you play where you say you're going to steal a base, you roll the 2 10 dies, and if it's from, for instance, for Santana, 0 to 83 is a safe. There's another way to play that when you roll, when he gets on base, if he gets on base with a single, if the D6 die is a 1, then he automatically steals. Look at Bradley Zimmer. If he would get a single and get a 5 or a 6, or between 0 and 5, he would steal. 6, he wouldn't. So you can, depending on which ways you do. Injury, I haven't got much into because I play replay usually, so I don't do a whole lot with injuries. Here are their stats for the year of 2017. 92. Well, let's go down here first. Here's the pitcher's card. Anywhere from 60 to 89 are on the pitcher's card. So on the hit column, it goes from 60 to 69. For Corey Kluber, only 60 is a hit. The rest of them are outs. So if you get a 67, it would be a fly out to left field. The walks work kind of the same way, from 70 to 79. His is a 72, so it'd be a walk with 70, 71, and 72. Now here's interesting with the strikeouts. Strikeouts are 80 to 89. As you can see, Corey Kluber goes over that. So he goes over by 9. So if that's the case, then up above for the batters, for them, anywhere from 40 for Kluber, 40 to 48 is a strikeout. So you have to kind of keep in mind with the 40s that if you have a pitcher that's over, like Andrew Miller, he's going to go from 40 to 53 for a strikeout on top of his 80 to 89. So the only other ones here is like Ryan Merritt. X1 is on counts that have a 1 at the end would be a strikeout. Okay, here is the adjustments again for extra base hits just on home runs. You have plus numbers, you have minus numbers. So for Miller, you would take 11 off the home run hitting if the person batting gets any extra base hit. Ryan Merritt has a minus 23. Sean Armstrong is 23. Add that on. Another thing to watch is the ballparks, like up here at the top. Progressive Field has no adjustments. There are some ballparks. Let's see if I can find one here. Like here for Kauffman Stadium, they're minus 3. Boston, a minus 3 for left-handers, a minus 1 for right-handed batters. So anyway, so going on with this, 90 and 91 when you get a roll of like this is a wild pitch. So if you get that, then you would roll the D6, and like for Carrasco, it'd be an automatic wild pitch. Josh Tomlin would just be on a 1. If he got higher than that, you would just re-roll. Then we would go up here, number 92 is a pass ball. Yan Gomes is a strong arm. That is his range, and that is his error. So there's different things with this we can go into here. Anything above 93 through 99, there are 2 different things can happen here. Air checks, I'm going to bring up one thing here. Okay, I'll bring that up here in a second. Let's see here. I've got a kind of a cheat sheet for my range stuff here. Okay, so if you get 93 through 99, the second number is the position that you're going to check on. The D6 roll will be either an air check or a range check. Let's go with this first. So an air check is a 1 to 4. Then below, let's say it's an air check on the second baseman and we are playing Jose Ramirez. If it's an air check, this is his 2. He is a number 2. So anything 1 to 2 is an air. Anything above that is not. So he would make the play. So that's the way you deal with air checks. Range checks on 5 and 6. And here's where I have my cheat sheet here. The stars are for really good position players. There's no chance of them letting, on a range check, letting that go for a single. The comma, if you see, let's see here, we have one of those. I do not see one on their card. But if there is a comma there, they are a decent a decent fielder, and only ones that would be a single would be a 6 on the D6. The exclamation points are kind of questionable range, and they would give up singles on 5 and 6. So that's the way the range checks goes. Let's see, otherwise, the pitcher's batting is at the end here, shows where they bat, what hand they bat, their sacrifice hit and hit and run values. Extra base hits, you can see most of those are zeros, so they don't have any. Singles, Corey Kluber has quite a bit there. He's got up to 42. The other ones are -7 off of the pitchers. So if they get a hit, you take 7 off of those, or 8. So for instance, if Corey Kluber was pitching, let's make it Josh Tomlin, 67, and if you find a -7, it would be 62. Same for the walks. Those are up higher. K chances. So Carrasco has quite a bit. He's got walks from 0 to 9, strikeouts from 9 to 24, and then these are outs from 24 to 56. And they have the same thing with the left-right splits. So that's the way the cards go. Now, coming to the actual Excel helper here, it's good. You load them in. What you do is you go to one of the tabs. Let's use that. You go to one of the tabs, and if they're the road team, you hit Control-Shift-A, and that brings them into the away dugout section. It's a little small, but then what you do is, the yellow areas are the areas to change. You set up what position they're going to bat in and what position they are going to be in the field. And then for the pitcher, you just put a P in, and this was my last game. Boone Logan finished out the game, but you would put the starting pitcher in here. Oh, one thing I did not explain here is the endurance. For instance, for Corey Kluber, right above the mark there, he's got 30 batters when he starts. And then the other column is if they come in relief. So he's got 30 batters, unless he gives up 7 runs. If he's shelled like that, earned or unearned, then his values go up by, I think it's 1 or 2. I'll have to look at that again. But that's generally an idea of how you use the starting rotation. So that's that. So again, on the away dugout, you just put the starting pitcher. And if you're playing an American League game, you would use a DH. Otherwise, you would put their position they're batting in here. And same thing for the home, but theirs is Shift Control H to get them into their lineup. So this populates this field here. Let me get this back up to where the starters are here. So we're going to get to where Carlos Santana is. Okay, so it also shows the different fielding ranges here. And then right now, we've got Ryan Presley in here. It shows where his hits go up to, where his walks go up to. His K range is from 80 to 89. And his extra base hits, what you add on for the home runs, you add 16. Wild pitch is a 6, so if he gets a wild pitch check, it's going to be an automatic. And there is his range of how long he can pitch in relief for 7 batters, his defense, and his age. So you have everything really pretty much right there. Looks like the ballpark that they're playing in is Minnesota, and they've got a 0. I'm pretty sure. Let me see if that's what that shows. Yes. So that shows what you have to add on for home runs. So it's a very good Excel program. Had a little trouble getting it on, but that was pretty much my own stupidity. So anyway, it pops up each batter and their stats in this at-bat screen, and the pitchers here. And then when you go on to the home team, you just move it down a little bit, and their fielding or their batting is here. So what I've done here is, if I have the batter up, I just hit roll that dice. But during the game, I just hit the next batter, and that gives you a new set of numbers. So for instance, if we do Carlos Santana on a 43, We look, and it's over the K range of 32 and in between the outs. So 43 is an out. And then you can either look over here and it says what ground out first base, and if you have anybody on base, what happens. Or you can just look here and it's a 3, so you know that it's a ground out to third. So then when the next batter comes up, all I do is just hit next batter, and Fernando Lindor will come up. And he gets a 90, which is a 90 is a wild pitch, so we don't have anybody on base, so we'll just roll dice again. He gets a 9, which is good. This is an extra base hit. So now we're going to roll one more time. He gets a 73, so it would be a double. So if you had people on base, then you'd look over here to see what the situation is. And down here, it talks about where the risk runs are. That's part of the instruction book too, which we do have. They're down here as an out advance and hit advance chart that you can use. And it may explain it explains the assists and risk chance and what that means. But generally, it pretty much tells you everything you need to do right in this field. So, well, I think this will be the end of kind of the instructional. I know that went pretty fast, but I will load up my next game between the Indians and Twins. So it's the third game of the series, and we'll be back on the next video. Thank you very much.